Happy Thursday night, everyone. This is Robyn with mypinkstamper.com, and in the video today that I'm making for you guys, I wanted to do a tutorial on the stamp set Rose Wonder that's new in the Occasions 2016 catalog. And I'm making a sympathy card, which is kind of sad, but I know quite a few of us have needed those lately, and someone in my family lost their father this weekend, so I'd like to make a card for her using this stamp set. So this is a great versatile stamp set. It has birthday, thank you, wedding wishes, sympathy, and you're in my thoughts and prayers, and that's what I'm going to use. But it's just a great versatile, and this is actually, the stamps are bigger. If you look at the top, they're 60% larger than they show right here because there's just not room for them to be shown right here. I had a request from one of my viewers and one of my customers that I would show paper piercing with the paper piercing templates that are in the back of the catalog, of the annual catalog. And this is the paper piercing mat. And then I'm using the paper piercer. Do you hear my kids in the back? It's bedtime and they're not happy about it. Okay, so this is the paper piercer. I don't even see the name on it, but it is. It is, and I'm using, I already have this done because I was trying to make this a quicker video. So I'm using the tags and labels, framelits, and I used this size right here. So I used the middle size of this one right here. And I'm going to put that aside since I've already done it. And it's right here. I actually did two of them, but I'm only going to need one. I'm just using that size. So we're using the Blushing Bride cardstock, and I only need one. I don't know why I had two there. I'm actually going to use this, I think, for one at my group card swap this month. I don't know. So if you're on my team and you're in the swap for February, you might get this or you might not. I haven't quite decided. And I'm in another big swap that's due next weekend, so I might use this one. I'm not sure. This is cut at 11 inches, so it's just cut at 4.5 or 4 1/4. So I cut it this way, so it's going to be folded like this. So I'm using Blushing Bride classic ink pads. If you're new to Stampin' Up! Product, they're pretty simple to open. They have some grips for you on the side, and there's 3 little indentions in the front, and you can push that forward, and it kind of pops up, and then you just flip it over, and you can click it into place. And what I love about it is that they are constantly stored upside down. So the ink stays to the top of the pad, on the top of the pad, ready to be all juicy and inky. We're using the Whisper White. This is a craft ink pad, so it's a pigment ink pad, so it's wet. This usually won't dry on its own very well, unless you heat set it. This is the Pear Pizzazz. So we've never used Pear Pizzazz and Blushing Bride in one of my videos together, so I thought these would be nice, gentle, subtle cards or colors for you. And we're using a sponge, and I'm using the Whisper White or the white embossing powder, and I'm using the heat tool, which is a must-have. If you don't have it yet, I highly recommend it. This one comes with the 2 different speeds, one for heat setting and one for embossing, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we will go ahead and just get started, and we're also using Whisper White cardstock layer, and I will show you that right when we do our first step. Before we emboss or anything, we're going to go ahead and use the Project Life corner punch with this Whisper White cardstock. This is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we just trim off or corner round. This is super easy to use. This is great for scrapbooking, and it's also great for card making or other projects. We're going to use our paper piercing mat, and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. It's super easy to do. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. And this has all sorts of different templates. This came with 1 pack. So this was 1 pack, and this is called Essentials Paper Piercing Pack. Okay, and it has the 3 different mats in it. So this one would actually coordinate with this if I wanted to use the paper piercing. Do you see that? I could do the outside of this if I wanted to, and we might do that. That actually might be really cute, so I think I'm going to do that now. It's fun how when I'm doing a video, all these other ideas come up. This one coordinates with the, I think it's called Lots of Labels, framelits, and this one is with the flower one. I don't know the name. This goes with circles. And so this one here, we're going to just do the outside of, and I'm just kind of lining it up as best as I can. Let me see if I can do this here. La di da di da di da di da di da di da. La di da di da di. Okay, I'm gonna do, yeah, there we go. I just need my paper piercer. And this is nice and safe, so your kids won't go around poking each other, hopefully, with it. And you can put the lid back on it and put it away when you're done. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. And then I just kind of hold it down firmly. I'm going to do, I start on the corner, and then I'm going to go across. I don't know if you guys want me doing every single punch. And I know I can speed this up. I know that, right? We could speed it up if we wanted to. So I'm going to do part of it, and then I'll do the other part off screen. So I'm also going to just come up here on this side. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Kind of goes, it's kind of fast. It's really therapeutic, you know. All these different things we do with our crafting. It's very therapeutic. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest off screen, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, I have this paper pierced all the way around. And I also went ahead and pierced this around. It's going to give it a nice touch. This is actually a pretty easy card. It might look like there's a lot of steps, but there really are not a lot of steps to this. Okay, so I have my, we're going to use the rose right here. And it's a pretty big stamp, so you're going to need a larger block for this. And I have block F used on this one. And I'm going to go ahead and ink it up while it's upside down. The background stamps and the bigger stamps I like to ink when they're upside down. Okay, just going to ink that up. And I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this on the corner like this. It's easier for me to put it sideways like this. And you can stamp right where it was pierced as well. Make sure it's a nice solid stamp. You can even go like this if you'd like to make sure you got ink on all of it. Okay? We're going to turn it upside down, and I have a background piece of paper that's already folded in half, and I'm going to hurry and get my embossing powder on there, kind of give it a nice coverage, and then tap it off. Can you guys kind of see it there a little bit? You'll be able to really see it when we emboss. Oh, it's so pretty. This is such an elegant card. Such a nice card that you could do for a birthday as well. You don't have to just do it for a sympathy card. Or thinking of you, or I miss you, or something like that. Okay, I'm going to set this aside because we're going to use it in just a little bit as well. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to use the heat tool on this number 2 setting. And if you guys watch it, now this is white on white, so it's kind of hard to tell from the video, but when you're doing it in person, you can see the consistency change of the embossed areas that you have the ink and the powder on. You want to do it long enough so it melts, but not too long that you're going to burn the paper. So I'm going to let this cool off just for a second, and I don't know if you guys can tell. You can see the embossed at all. But we're going to go ahead, and I'm flipping over my paper, and I'm going to use this side of it. And we're going to do what's called sponging, and if you remember my video, I don't know, from November, it was actually my thank you card for my November customers. I believe it was October and November. And we did the same, it's called Emboss Resist technique. So it makes it pop out, especially if you're doing the white on the white. Okay, so we're going to take the Blushing Bride, and I'm using one of Stampin' sponges. And we're just going to use one side. And then I'm going to just kind of just twist it a little bit, and it's going to pop. You're going to see the image pop in just a few seconds. Or you can go like this if you want. You see it just popping. It's just really a cool technique. Really, really pretty. It's a pretty big flower, so I need to make sure I cover it all. And it's okay if you go over a little bit into the other areas, and you can do it darker if you wanted to show pop up a little more. The more ink you put on, the more the white's going to show up. Okay, so that's all I'm doing on this one. And this is the last I need of the Blushing Bright ink. And now we're using the Pear Pizzazz. And I'm using this side here too. If you guys are new to my channel and you're new to Stampin' Up, you can buy all of the product that I show on the link on the instructions or on my website. And if you need help with any of it, I'm here to help you, walk you through it if it's the first time. Okay, so we're just going to kind of put this on here, and you see how this pops out like that? And I'm going to do the other side as well. And you just want to kind of mess with it. It's best to start light and then get darker, so you don't put too much on, or you can always get darker, but you can't get lighter once you put the ink on. Okay, so that's really pretty. I love that. All right, that's all I'm doing there. And now we're going to take our paper. That's the 11 inches by 4 1/4. And we're going to fold it over to get a nice tight crease using the bone folder. You can also score it with the paper trimmer first, or with the Simply Scored tool if you want to get a nice crisper fold on the top, because we're going to have this card open up like this. And now we're going to take this card here, this front, and I'm using the snail adhesive, and I'm just going to put a good amount on it because I want it to really stick on there. And this is going to be about my bottom left corner. I'm just going to put it directly on here, kind of measure it so it's even as best as I can get it even. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Put on all of it. Okay, and now I'm going to do the final touch, and I'm going to flip this back over because we're going to emboss again. And I'm using the Blushing Bride paper that I've used the paper piercing tool on, and the Whisper White craft pad, and I'm doing your In My Thoughts and Prayers. I thought that would be perfect for a sympathy card. I'm just going to stamp it right on the top. You're in my thoughts and prayers in the white. And I'm going to take the embossing powder, do it right over the top. And if you have problems with static or it's sticking, you can use the Stampin' Buddy first, or Embossing Buddy. And it helps the embossing powder so it doesn't stick. Okay. On our one of our last steps here, we're almost done with this quick card. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take, I'm using some tweezers for this one because I don't want to burn my finger. So I'm going to put it on setting 2, and we're going to also emboss this on the Blushing Bride. And you'll notice the white's going to, of course, pop up and show since we're using it on a colored piece of cardstock. I'm going to let it cool just for a second before I turn it upside down. I am going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, and I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to add 4 of these on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is our final step for a quick card. And it's good to make extra cards to have in your collection. So when you don't have time to make a card, you have one made. And we're going to add this right here. So just a simple card, but a very elegant card. And here's the one I made earlier that I did not use the paper piercing. So you can kind of decide which look that you like best. Alright, I hope you guys have a fabulous Thursday, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, bye.